Welcome, Magellan Network and Mastermind members. Coach Joe Lukacs, and this is your strategic planning system review and benchmarking. So this is the process that you're going to do each and every time you're going to be updating your Magellan strategic plan. So in preparation for our November business planning event that we do annually, if you're doing this yourself, and quite frankly, I think this is a great process to do at least twice a year. So, business planning time, and then maybe at the mid-year break, although I do have some clients that will do this every quarter. So I'm going to leave that up to you. This is a very powerful document. It will help you, solidify what you're doing well, identify what you need to work on, and really create what we'll call a history, a narrative of both your successes and your failures. So how do we use this document? The first thing I'd recommend is where to do this. So if you're going to be working on this like in your office, I never think that's a good idea because I think there's too many distractions. So my recommendation would be to go somewhere that basically maybe a library, put some earphones on, and then work through this document. If you have to do it in your office, conference room would be better. I really don't want you around the phone or any kind of distractions. In fact, I would say shut your phone off, all your phones, and let's get focused. There's going to be some very specific instructions here, so I'm going to walk you through it as if you're in the room with me at a live event. So there are basically a couple elements here. So first off, you'll enter the dates, or you'll handwrite the dates in here, what you want to do in terms of dates. And basically this process is broken into three parts. There's going to be a narrative part, so like a little oral, report on kind of how the period went, whether it's a 12-month period, a 6-month period, or a 3-month period. Second, I'm going to walk you through some KPIs that I believe are important for any financial advisory practice, and then you may put your own in there also. I'll walk you through each and every one of those. And then part 3 is our benchmarks. These are 18 different elements that I have found over my 2.5 decades of coaching just financial advisors, or key elements of success. Now, how we're going to do this is that I'm going to go through each part, and what I'm going to do is walk you through what I'm looking for and give you instructions on how to get the most out of this. Then what I'm going to ask you to do is to pause the video. So, hey, stop the video now, and then I want you to go to work and do this. So this will not be a real-time recording in that matter. It'll be way too long. So I want you to pause the video and then go back and do the work, and then unpause it, go to the next question, and rinse and repeat until we get to the end. So hopefully that's clear going forward. And as always, through this process, if you have any specific questions, reach out to me as part of Magellan Network in the chat box, or post a question or email, whatever you want to do. I'm here to help, and go ahead and ask me whatever questions you have. So with that being said, if there's nothing further that we need to discuss, let's go ahead, my friends, and get into part number 1, which is a narrative. So I want you to think of it this way. I want you to think this is a letter that you're writing to yourself and to, in essence, your board of directors. So if I said to you, let's say we were in a meeting, and you had all the important people in your life around you, your coach, your team members, your partners, your spouses, whatever. And I said, look, for 5 minutes, I want you to stand in front of the room, and I want you to give a report on the period. What went well, what you failed at, what frustrates you, what you're proud of, what you need to do different, what are your commitments. Like, I want you to just write a note. Now, you can do this in terms of how you accomplish this is really up to you. So you could write a narrative, and some people will write flowing paragraphs and do that. And look, if you need more paper, just grab a sheet of paper and continue to write in a Word document. If you're typing, that's fine too. Other people write it in bullet points. Other people tranche it out and say, here's what went well, here's what didn't go well. And whatever is going to work for you, it doesn't matter to me. I've seen a lot of different variations of this piece. So it's not so much for me, it's so it works for you. So what I want you to do is literally take maybe 10 minutes. So we're going to get ready to pause the video in a moment. And what I want you to do is just kind of write yourself a note. Now, what's really cool about doing this on a regular period, you get to watch over years your evolution. So I want you to look at this process, not I'm with Joe, so I'm going to get this process done. It'll be nice. I'm going to go off and do something else. This process will serve you for your entire career. And the reason why it does is I always change it. I always elevate it. I always improve it. So let's go ahead now. There's written instructions on the page. So whether you write or type, that's your prerogative. But let's pause the video now. Let's get this narrative done, and I'll see you again in part number 2. All right, welcome back. Welcome to part number 2. Now, in this part, we're going to talk about KPIs, or key performance indicators. In management consulting, we talk a lot, how do you measure a business? How do you measure, what do you need to measure to know if you're on track or not? So in this section here, and you'll notice that there are some things that are pre-populated and others that are blank. And what I want you to do, and I'm going to walk you through each one very briefly, and I'm going to walk you through each one. So I'm not going to say this KPI, pause the video. I'm going to go through the whole sheet here. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is pause the video, and if you have to go back to something, please go ahead and rewind the video or do the little slider thing, right? And go ahead and do that. So number 1 is how many new clients in the period. So I'm going to keep this in annual terms if you're doing this for the annual plan. So in the previous 12 months, how many new clients did you get? How many total clients do you have? And I mean households. It's interesting. A lot of advisors have no idea how many clients they have. How much new money did you bring in? And how much is your total AUM if that is your game? So notice what I don't have on here. Net new. Net new is not a good indicator of how your business is run. And the reason why I say that is you can do everything right, but you have a couple clients die and their estates get settled, or somebody's kid goes into business and the money goes away, or they want to go invest in real estate, or God help us, a restaurant or something, and you can't control that. It's not your money. So I want to know how much money you attracted, and that's from new clients and existing clients, and then how much total money you have, right? No net. So just what came in and what's the total. Next piece is what our top line is. So our gross revenue from all products, services, product lines, AUM, insurances, planning fees, coaching fees, whatever. Next, how much money did you net? So your personal income. Because here's the thing I found. Advisors worry a lot about the top line. They never really look at the bottom line. At the end of the day, it's the bottom line that counts. For example, recently I worked with a brand new client, and they've got a $3 million top line. But I said, well, how much money do you make each year? Flows to the house, to your house. And he said about $700,000. I thought that was very, very off. And when we start looking, he's a person that likes the things, right? So he's got the big office, lots of employees. So he's got a lot of overhead. And I know guys that got $700 bottom lines with $1 million top lines because they run lean and mean. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, but you need to know both. So top line and bottom line, please. The next piece, how many review slots needed? So based on your A, how many households you have, B, your segmentation, C, your service model, how many slots do you need in the upcoming 12 months? So do you need 200, 300, 400? And you need to know, and then how many slots are needed? And then the one question I'd ask you is, how many slots do you really have? Because, time is finite, and there's only so many slots you can have. So I want you to get clear on that. In this period of time, how many client check-ins did you do? So, touching base, right? Phone calls, text, emails, just checking in with your client. How many check-ins did you do? And look, here's the deal. If you don't know the answers because you're new to our process and you're like, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on around here? Don't stress out over it. I'm not going to ask you to go back and recreate a wheel. It'll take you too long. What I want you to understand is going forward, these are the things that you need to pay attention to and track. Next, how many names sourced via referrals? How many names did you get via referral? I'm not saying how many clients you got from it. How many names did you source? If you have a mature practice, let's say a mature practice in my mind is 100, 150 clients minimum. You should be sourcing 30 to 50 names each and every year. Okay. Which brings us to our next piece, which is how many referral conversations, how many times did you remind your clients that you're open for business? Next, how many clients did you lose? And yes, we want to know about our losses because you need to know, is we're doing a great job on the front end of things, but on the back end, the barn door is open, right? In other words, we don't have a good retention program. We don't have a good communication program. We don't have a good service program, and that needs to be fixed. So I'm not saying, and look, every one of us, I track how many clients I lose each and every year. Now, luckily for me, it's a couple here and there, so it's not like massive. Um, but I want to know about it, and I want to see if there's any commonality, any theme to it. All right. Next, how many COI contacts? So centers of influence. So CPAs, attorneys, business consultants, coaches, mortgage people, realtors, property and casualty people. So how many contacts in this period? Next, how many times did you review your business plan? So, at minimum, and you'll hear me talk a lot about this if you're going to come to our live event or you're going to be doing our version, DIY, if you will. I want you around this entire process once a week. Once a week. Next, how many workouts? So how often did we exercise? Now, if there's a different way for you to measure this, maybe some of you measure calories or steps, then please feel free to substitute that, right? And put that in there in the box. How many new LinkedIn contacts? So how many contacts did we go ahead and, how do we grow our online LinkedIn tribe? And this is important in the period. And if we're operating on a newsletter list or email list, how many names did we add to that list, right? And then how many new likes on our Facebook business page? All of us need to be operating with a Facebook business page. Very, very important. And as you get into our process, we get into the marketing and the branding piece. You'll hear me talk about that as a part of our narrative. Next, how much money did you put back in you? So our personal development game plan, minimum 10%, right? How much dollars in this period of time did you invest back into yourself, making you a better advisor, better person, better leader, better human being? Next, how many clients did you optimize? So again, we talk a lot about optimization. So that's a very simple term, meaning that we either get more money from our current clients, we open up a new product line, whether it's insurances or financial planning, but somehow we capture more wallet share of our client. Next, how much money did you invest in marketing? So, again, we need to be in the marketing game. Our business is changing. It's not just about being, quote unquote, a good salesperson or good people person. You've got to be able to get your word out and build brand awareness, your own personal brand. So how much did you spend? And that would be on Facebook ads, maybe LinkedIn ads, maybe do some other things, maybe do some display or print. How much did you invest in getting your brand out there? Next, how many client events did you do? These were both large and little in the period of time. And then how many new financial plans, net worth statements / balance sheets? So I believe the minimum standard of care, for every one of your clients, A, B, C, D, gold, silver, platinum, bronze, doesn't matter, is that at minimum, all your clients have a balance sheet / net worth statement. They're really the same thing. And the reason why I want to do that and update it at least every year, things change. And I hear it all the time. Advisors sit there, oh, I know where all my clients' money is. And then they do it to humor me, or I stick my thumb in their back and they make them do it. And there's always some surprises there that they would not have caught any other way. Okay? So what I need you to do is get ready to pause this video. And you'll see there's some boxes down here. So if you've got your own things that are important to you, maybe you have a premium game, maybe you're doing more annuity type business or long-term care or other things. You have a couple boxes here to put your own KPIs in if we've missed anything. And please feel free to do that. And down here, if you want to make some notes or maybe even add some more KPIs, let's not get too crazy though. You have the opportunity to do it in here also. All right. So this is what we have. This is part 2. So let's go ahead now and pause the video. Now, some of you may say, well, crap, I gotta figure this out. And I don't know. And that's fine. So look, do the best job. This is the first time you're doing it. Do the best job that you can. Put the data that you know to be true. If you can relatively painlessly or with a little pain figure it out, feel free to do so. I don't want you getting bogged down in this. In fact, historically, when advisors do my process for the first time, it's like, whoa, what's all this I gotta know, right? I just am doing this. So if you're going through this for the first time, fill in what you can and be put on notice that you want to be tracking the rest of it, right? And depending on what time of year you're doing this, if you're doing this towards the latter part of the year, I would make this a priority for the fourth quarter and get our heads around this in terms of tracking this information. so that moving forward, you have your arms really around your business. All right. So 1, 2, 3, let's pause the video, work on part number 2, and I'll see you in part number 3 for all of our benchmarks. So go ahead now. I know I overwhelmed you. I get it. This is important. Let's go ahead now, pause the video, and let's get after it. I'll see you in part number 3. All right. Welcome back, and it may be a different day by now, depending on how you've looked at your KPI game. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get into benchmarks, and we're going to go through these pretty quickly because it's kind of the same process protocol with just some different elements on the top. All right. So what I'm going to have you do is we're going to go through these item by item. I'll spend a little time on each one, what I'm looking for, and let's talk about how you're going to rate yourself. All right. So what I have found is that sometimes people are very hard on themselves and some people are very easy on themselves. So I'm not going to sit there and have that conversation. You are who you are. I would say this, anything 1, 2, 3, not good. 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, needs improvement. 8, 9, 10, still needs improvement. But at least we're doing a good job. Now let's talk about 1s and let's talk about 10s. All right. If it's truly a 1, and 1 would be like, crap, I didn't even know I need to know that, right? Like I was totally oblivious to it. That's fine. So like 1s are like, I wasn't aware, now I am. Okay. So why did you give yourself a score? I did not know this was important. That would be what I'd write. Okay. 10s are tough. Now I use the same process with some slight modifications. In my, probably of this process, 10 years, I've never given myself a 10. Because in my mind, a 10 means that I can't improve it. Like there's not an 11. So the highest I'll ever score myself is a 9. The lowest I'll score myself, this is my stuff, probably 4 or 5. So I'm going to be kind of banded in there. Some things better than others. So I want to have this conversation with you now as we get into the rest of this on what you need to do. All right. So let's get into the individual benchmarks now that we've had this conversation. So benchmark number 1, and by the way, when I say number 1, it doesn't mean it's always most important, but in this case, this is most important. Your morning ritual, your Magellan morning 8. So I want you to go ahead and click, you can either, as you can see, you can just kind of check a box, or if you're handwriting it or whatever you're doing, I should check multiple boxes, I guess. You go handwrite it in, that's fine. Give yourself a score. Then what I want you to do is go in here and why. So are you inconsistent? Do we rock and roll at the beginning of the week? Like I want you to really think about what's the rationale to why you gave yourself the score. And here's the thing I want to say, because I've seen this in the past and I want to just have this conversation about all this. The easiest thing to do is to BS yourself. So because I didn't do a good job. That tells us nothing, right? So if you want to go play that game and write in there, well, I just didn't do it. That is not going to help your cause. What I need you to do is tell yourself the truth. And if the truth is, I suck at this and here's why. I'm lazy, I don't get up early enough, I sleep in bed, my diet sucks, so therefore I don't feel like getting up. Like I want the truth. You need the truth here. All right? So let's not play the bullshit game, excuse my language, and let's get into this. This is in your best interest. All right? So I just want to have this conversation with you. So number 1, check yourself a score. Number 2, go ahead and write a quick note on the truth on why. And then number 3, in your opinion, how do you get better at this? So in the morning 8, do you need to set an alarm? Do you need to get up earlier? Do you need to prep some things the night before? Do you need to go to bed earlier? Like what do you need to do to take a, and so let's just say hypothetically, and we'll just do this for this one thing. Let's just say you score yourself a 3. Now, you may want to say, well, my goal, Joe, is to be a 10, right? Or a 9. But your brain goes, that's a lot. So maybe what I'll ask you to do is, hey, how do I go from a 3 to a 6? How do I kind of go from here to here? Because if I can go from here to here over the next 90 days, then the next 90 days I go to here. And then the next 90 days I go to here. Well, that's a radical difference, right? Look at that. Now we're a 9. So I want you to think, remember I said how to improve the score. I didn't say how to give yourself a 10. And I did that purposely because I don't want you to overwhelm yourself with, oh my God, I got to change my DNA to make stuff happen. That's not going to be the game here. All right. So I want you now to pause the video and score your Magellan Morning 8. Tell yourself the truth on why the number is the number, and then brainstorm on ways to improve your score. Now, if you don't know how to improve it or you're not sure, reach out. I'll be happy to help you. Reach out on a Zoom call, reach out on a question, reach out in a chat. I'm fine with it. I'm here to serve you. But if you do not know what you need to do, come find me. I will definitely give you some strategies. All right, so pause the video. Let's do our Magellan Morning 8 now, please. All right, welcome back. So now let's talk about our Magellan Daily 5, right? So Magellan Daily 5, right? We do our Morning 8, contacts, meeting set, referral conversations, track it all. Can you see now why we track it all? Why the fifth one is always the track, right? So how well did you do in your tactical days on executing your Magellan Daily 5 or MD5, right? So again, this is going to be more about consistency, most likely than anything else. So go ahead, check a box, wherever that box is. Go ahead and write in there why the truth again on why you did score it the way you did. And look, if you're brand new and it's like, well, I didn't even know this was something I have to do, so I'm gonna give myself a 2, then tell the truth. Hey, I didn't know this was important, or I wasn't aware, or it's a great idea. And then I want you to write exactly what the truth is. And then go ahead and give yourself the score. And then I want you to think about what you need to do. And I will say this in my experiences, the Morning 8 and Daily 5 are really linked. That's why they're first 2 up. Because if you do a great morning ritual, Morning 8, your chance of your Daily 5 will radically increase. If you screw the morning, you're probably going to screw the day. So that's why they're first up. All right? So a lot of times what I'll see in this box is, number 1, do my Morning 8. Number 2, make sure I have my Daily 5 locked down before I hit my office. And I don't want to get into that today because this is not the premise here, but a lot of you guys and gals sabotage yourself. A lot of you men and women sabotage yourself because you're hitting your office trying to figure out it's game 8. Look, the game's already started. If you don't have your Daily 5 figured out before you hit your office, you're screwed. That's been my experiences. So I want you to think about that, okay? So let's pause. Let's score. Let's tell ourselves the truth. And then let's brainstorm. So go ahead now, pause the video. See you in the next benchmark. All right, next. Now, this is for some of you who've been around for a while, this is some new benchmarks here. So part of our Magellan Core 4, there's 4 elements in our core philosophy around Magellan, and I've broken them up in each one. And so let's talk about this. So number 1 is mindset. So that's your beliefs, your values and rules, your self-image, your internal dialogue, what you believe you're capable of, what you believe you deserve, all those things, right? Mindset, how you deal with adversity, all those things, right? So this one here, again, tell yourself the truth wherever you think you are on the spectrum. Number 2 is go ahead and write a note. Now, so why would somebody's mindset need not be where it needs to be? A couple reasons. Number 1, mind is like the body. So I will say this. If you want to improve your body, there's 2 ways you do that, right? You exercise and you watch what you put in it, right? In your mind, you do the same thing. You exercise it and you watch what you put in it. So what I mean, how do you exercise a mind? By what you read, who you hang out with, your associations, right? All those things matter. What books you read, what coursework you do, what conferences you attend, what coaches you listen to. All that affects mindset. And then as far as what you put in it, how much BS, news, negativity, stuff you cannot control, right? So the truth here, why you gave yourself the number, and I just gave you some strategies on how to improve it, right? It's exercising it. It's feeding it like you would do your body. So go ahead, pause the video, score it up, tell yourself the truth, and then brainstorm on some ways. Like I said, I'm always available if you need some strategies on how to get your number up. Pause the video now, please. All right, welcome back. Next element of our core 4 are rituals. So rituals are rituals, habits, behaviors. Really all the same thing. So how would you rate your rituals in terms of helping you and supporting you? So in terms of like, well, I've got a ritual of doing my ritual. I do my exercise. I read my business plan. I don't have CNBC playing in the office. I'm disciplined and organized throughout the day. My office is clean, right? Like I've got these rituals that really, really serve me. Or you've got rituals that harm you. Rituals like I don't get up early. Rituals like I don't put good things in my body. Rituals like I end up getting sucked into non-business stuff during business time. And I wonder why my business isn't growing. Well, because you're not focused on it. So I want you to think about rituals. And again, these are like habits, behaviors, right? Maybe some of you have a ritual where you don't get up early enough. You stay up too late. You don't do certain things. It's one of these, well, I should get up early. I need to really try to do something. So try, should, better, more needs not to be put in this process. Okay? So score yourself up. Tell yourself the truth. And when you find out, and what I'd rather you list here is like all the bad things that you do that sabotage your success. All right, let's do that. And then what you need to do in order to improve your process. All right, so pause the video now, and I'll see you for the next element. All right, welcome to benchmark number 5, vision. So what does vision mean? Vision is our strategic plan, long-term plan, what we want out of business and life. It's our ideal life and lifestyle. And as a leader, so 2 things. I don't care if you're a solopreneur and like it's your own game. You still need to know what you want to create. So being an advisor is beautiful because it gives you an opportunity to, it's like a blank canvas. You can create a masterpiece, or you can just throw some spaghetti up there and see what happens and what sticks. I like the masterpiece concept much better. So what I want to ask you to do is, how strong is your vision? How clear is your vision? How often do you visualize that vision? And is it a vision of abundance? Is it a vision of prosperity? Or is it a vision of, oh man, I got to if I could just make $20,000 a month, I can cover my bills, have a little money to live on, da, 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 da. And see, if you condition yourself for that, that's exactly what you're going to get. So I want you to know, how strong and positive is your vision? Give yourself a score, right? I want the truth on what it is. So why'd you give yourself the number? Are some things in place, some things not? And what do you need to do? So if you're coming to one of our live events, we're gonna have you create a vision. I'm gonna have you create a kick-ass personal vision, kick-ass professional vision, and the recipes to put it together. Okay, the recipes. So I just want you to think about that going forward, and how well and how solid is your vision, and how powerful is it? How inspirational, not motivational, but how inspirational is it truly? So go ahead now, let's stop this video, and I'll see you on the next piece. All right, welcome back. And yes, this is the morning, and yes, I'm having my coffee. So next, energy. And I don't mean like energy drinks. So this business is a business of mental, emotional, and physical energy. So I want you to think about all of these in this narrative here. So health matters, right? That matters. You've got to have gas in the tank to go ahead and execute it. So, if you're getting up and you're all kind of fired up, and, we have our 15 cups of coffee and a energy drink, and we're jonesing in the morning, and then we eat lunch, and then we're taking a nap at 1:30, that will rob a lot of success. So I can't correlate a lot of things in this business. Like I can't tell you, hey, go get a CFP or go get a SEMA or go get this designation or that because it will make you more money. I will tell you that going to the gym, having a personal trainer and nutritionist, I've seen guys double their revenue off of that concept. So this does matter. So how would you rate your energy levels, right? Why? And then what do you need to do to improve it? We're going to talk a lot in this process, not this specific, but in terms of the overall planning process, on who should be on your team. What do you really need? And then how do you deploy those resources, appropriately? So for some of you, how do you improve your energy, your score? Hey, literally just watch what you eat, right? Literally watch what you eat. Like, get some, if you don't know nutrition, get some basic nutritional counseling, right? Figure something out. and then operate there, right? Maybe you all need to just go for a walk. Maybe you need to start doing something. You see here, like in this game here, you're watching the video, right? I've got a standing desk. This desk goes up, this desk goes down. I look to spend a chunk of my day standing. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I spend the whole day standing. That would be inaccurate. But I can definitely do this. I can walk around. I've got, which you don't see, I've got this baby right here, my wireless headset, which has got about 200-foot range. And I walk and talk all day long. Helps with my energy, helps with my thinking. If this business is a business on your butt, and that's a dangerous game. So I want you to rank your health and fitness and mental and emotional energy. Why? And what do you think you need to do to improve it? If you're playing our Magellan Morning 8, what are 2 things I make you do? Meditate, which helps on the mental and emotional energy. And 5 minutes of exercise is not going to make you an athlete, but it does get you moving. And that is valuable going forward. So I want you to go ahead now. Let's stop the video, score yourself up, and I'll see you in the next section. All right, now let's go ahead and look at investing in yourself, 10%. So you are the product, you are the core thing, you are what matters, right? And what we need to do is be very, very clear on what we're doing here in terms of reinvesting back in yourself. So here's the other correlation. Remember I said health and fitness and putting the right people around you there to kind of get you in a better place? This is the same thing. This is where that budget comes in, right? So I take hard dollars every year, and I increase that amount every year, and I reinvest it into my personal trainer, my conferences, my coaches, my trainings. I put, every year I put more money back into me. And it's funny, the more I do that, the faster I evolve, not just as a person, but my bank account on the plus side. So there's a momentum game being played there. I found most advisors first of all, a lot of you don't even think about this. Number 2, if you think about this, you go, oh man, I can't afford to do that. I got these bills. Hey, I will say this. You can go and take, let's just say $5 grand, 10 grand, and you can go buy a marketing program. And there are plenty of consultants that will sell you that marketing program. And that's fine. However, if you're not wired the way that you need to be, you'll squander it. I've seen advisors invest in all kinds of interesting things, but yet they're screwed up themselves. And I don't care what you do, you're the business. So here's what that is to me. I have a car, and the tranny's kind of, the transmission leaks. It hasn't had a tune-up in a decade. The oil's like sludge, right? It barely runs. But I just had this guy come to me and says for $5,000, he's going to paint it, make it look like new. Great. It's going to look great. Ain't going to move anywhere, right? And that's what some of you do. You're dealing with the cosmetic issues that you don't because they're easy. You're not dealing with the core issues. So what do you do with 10%? Now, somebody's saying, is that top line or bottom line? I'll let you choose how you want to play that. I've got some guys who'll play the top line game. Those are nice big budgets. I know, including myself and several clients, we have 6-figure budgets here to go play. And when you have a 6-figure PD budget, personal development budget, you can go to the best conferences. You can go join the best masterminds. You can hire the best coaches. You can get the best trainers, the best massage therapists, the best concierge doctor or health sports medicine guy or gal to help you out, nutritionist, right? Personal stretcher if you want, just to make you better. So I want you to go ahead now, give yourself a score, 1 to 10 or 1 to 9. And how well did you do at taking 10% and investing it back in yourself? And the other comment I'll make is, as far as return on investments, let me get back to ROI first, return on investment. So you spend 10 grand on something, like a new paint job. But if you spend 10 grand on the motor, the transmission, getting it fixed, getting it to run right? It's a different game. You can always go get the thing painted. But unless you get the other stuff working, it's irrelevant. It's not going to do you any good. So I have found, and there are plenty of you who will corroborate this, that the best return on investment for your business is investing in you, making you a better advisor, better leader, better human being, working on that. So give yourself a note on why the number, and then I just gave you a ton of things to do to improve it right here. So let's go ahead and pause this piece, and I'll see you for the next benchmark. Next, benchmark number 8. Welcome back. Execution of reviewing your business plan, quarterly game plan, your monthly game plan, right? So what I want you to do is, again, score yourself on that. So how well are you doing at the business plan once a week? Game plans, daily, right? That's what we do. How well are you doing that? And if you want to give yourself 2 different scores, that's fine. I don't want to have 35 different benchmarks here. So how well do you do at just kind of being around the vision, the game plans around your business? 1 to 9. Then give yourself a note on why you scored yourself that way, and then what you must do to improve it. And like I said, at minimum, I want this whole process reviewed once a week. And then, we operate on at least I operate, most of my guys operate on a quarterly game plan right here. Really 2 pages, right? This is something you read once a day in the morning. I read mine several times a day because it sits literally right there when I'm in my business and doing myself, and it travels with me. Okay? So give yourself a score, why'd you score it, and then what must you do to improve it. Now, for some of you, it's a scheduling thing. Like, you need to put in your phone, your calendar on a Friday or Saturday or whatever day you want to do it. Say, hey, today I got to review my business plan. And it's like a 15, 30-minute read, right? You're around it, make some notes, maybe put some things in a margin, but be around it. Most advisors will spend hours, if not days, doing goals in a business plan. Then they file it away like it's some tax return, not to be looked at again until the next year. We don't do that. So just be super aware of that. All right, so let's pause the video, and I'll see you in the next benchmark. Number 9. And this is where we're going to start doing some new things here. If some of you have been around me for a long time. So executing your branding. So your website and social sites. So how up to date is your website? Does it have video, up to date pictures? Does it have a mobile friendly theme? Pictures worth 1,000 words. A video is worth 10,000. Right? Does it portray truly who you are? When's the last time you did either a refresh of your brand or a total rebrand, right? That matters. Social sites. So your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook business page, Twitter if that's appropriate, Instagram if that's appropriate. Now, how up to date, how much focus do you put on this? Now, your brand is your storefront. So your website, your social sites, this is first impression. So I want you to hear me on this. Even if you're referral based, what your client will do is give your name to a friend of theirs. And then that friend, if they truly are interested, or they are going to search for you, whether it's Google, Yahoo, Bing, whatever. And they're going to find your website, your LinkedIn profile. That's usually going to definitely show up on the first page of search. And they're going to click on those things, and they're going to formulate an opinion on how successful you are, whether or not they want to resonate with you. Your website needs to be designed to attract your ideal client and repel the ones that are not. And if you have a certain niche or niche, depending on how you like to say that, that needs to be reflective in there also. So, scale of 1 to 9, how well have we executed the brand? Note out why you gave yourself the score, and then note out what you must do. This now needs, for some of you, this is not even on your radar. It needs to be on your radar. All right, so let's be very clear on that. Stop the video, and I'll see you for the next benchmark. Welcome back. So benchmark number 10, execution of your marketing. So video, audio, text, image, your marketing list, right? So what is our messaging? Are we doing a video blog? Are we doing a podcast? Are we writing a blog? Are we putting a newsletter out? What are we doing? Are we pushing it out to all of our channels, clients, our social channels, right? So Facebook, LinkedIn, all of the above. How well are we doing at this? This now is important. Every year it gets more important. Like I said earlier, it used to be where if you're a good people person and could do that, that you could really grow your business. The reality now is you still need to be that, and now you need to understand the marketing game. When I say the marketing game, I mean the personal brand marketing game. So getting you out there. People hire you because of who you are, not your process, not what firm you're associated with. This is 100% about you. So how is our marketing? Is our messaging about what we're doing? Or are we putting out like market update crap and stuff that nobody cares about, which is not impactful, it is not influential, it does nothing for us, it's just noise. So how personal is it? What modality are you using? Score it. Why? And what you need to. And look, if you're coming to one of our live events, the planning event, I will spend literally almost a whole day on branding, marketing, and business development. This is important. But if you know you need to drop your game, score it, pause the video, work on this. See you in the next one. Welcome back. So the next piece, right? So I got my brand, right? So here's what I am. I got my marketing, right? Which is my outbound voice and how I attract, right? Prospects. And now I've got to convert them. And that game has changed also. So I know a lot of you are going to sit there and say to me, well, Joe, and I've heard this for years, decades in fact, oh man, if I just get in front of somebody, I'm good. And then when we do the numbers, they're okay. I wouldn't say great. So do you actually have a process? You know the word here, right? Prospect to client process. Now in our game, Magellan, we call it what? Get the yes. And we have a multi-step protocol from introductory phone call to consult, to project, to lifelong client. All those elements. And it is a process and it's a protocol. If you're kind of making it up as you go along, right? If you can't sit there and say to me or to yourself, maybe it's more appropriately here, hey, here's how we do this. Here's how we convert, right? Step one, it starts with an introductory phone call. And then inside of that introductory phone call, here's what we do. Step two, if that call goes well, we invite them to a consult. And inside of that consult, here are the 5 or 10 deliverables we have. Step three, we pick either we say goodbye, not a good fit, or we execute a paid project. And then step 4, step 5, step 6, and so on. And if you're part of Magellan Network, we have it's a 6.5 hour training on Get the Yes. It's available in Workplace and also Magellan Academy. I highly recommend you spend a strategic day, reviewing the videos of Shot Live or make sure you come to the next live training that we do. So give yourself a score. Why do you give yourself the score? And what must you do? I'm telling you right now, step one, watch the Get the Yes videos, download the workbook, and start learning the process and attend the next live event. We do it annually, so be aware of that and just watch for the dates. All right, so that's number 11. Pause this video. See you in the next benchmark. Number 12. Welcome back. Execution of your referral introductory process. So I would say every advisor, well, let me rephrase that. 98% of advisors will say to me, the best way to grow my business is getting a qualified referral from a happy client. The other one would be getting a referral from a center of influence, an advocate, right? Fine. So we talk about it, but what do you do around it? So how proactive is it for you, right? So score yourself there. And then, why? So do we ask? Do we encourage clients to bring a guest to our events? Do we host our advocate dinners that we talk about? Like, are you really executing on this every day? And if you run a team, is your team executing on this every day, right? All those things absolutely matter going forward. Now, in terms of improvement, if you're playing our Magellan Daily 5, what's one of the conversations in that Daily 5, right? Introductory phone conversation. So how often every day are you reminding your clients you're open for business, you're here to help? How often are you encouraging your clients to bring a guest to an event that you're doing? Next, how often are you putting out a capabilities letter with an, oh, by the way, please pass this along to a friend, family, colleague, whatever. We'd love to help them in addition to helping you. Next and next and next, right? So I want you to think about their strategies. And again, if you're deploying with us to a live event, I will spend a couple hours on Saturday discussing multiple ways to elegantly, we don't beat anybody up here, but how to elegantly talk about referrals and introductions. All right. Next. Oh, almost forgot. Pause video. Answer this, right? Truthfully. I'll see you in the next benchmark. All right. Welcome back. Number 13. So again, optimization and profitability. So number one, do we have a balance sheet on all of our clients at minimum, if not a financial plan? Number two, do we have all their money and is it fee-based? Number three, have we handled their insurance needs? Number four, have we facilitated whatever estate planning needs to be done? Number five, have we looked at tax planning if appropriate, and on and on and on. Our goal is 100% wallet share. I don't want anybody else involved, all right? Or at minimum, I want to make sure I'm quarterbacking the thing, all right? And when I say optimization, I mean revenue, not assets. So for some of you who are kind of stuck in 1980 with this concept, it is not about how much money you have on the books anymore. It's about how much fee-based money you have on the books, how much top line and how much bottom line revenue. And do you have your clients at a minimum level of profitability, all right? So I want you to score yourself. I want you to write a note on, and for some of you, it's just like you just had an epiphany, which is great. Why you gave yourself that score. Again, be honest and as much as you can. And in order to improve it, I mean, I gave some ideas already. So number one, balance sheet. Number two, we do the reviews a certain way. Number three, you can hold client educational events like long-term care events, social security events, things like that. There's lots of ways to go ahead and drive an improved score. And again, if you have some questions on how to do that, please reach out. But let's go ahead and pause the video and give yourself a score and answer the questions. All right, welcome back. So number 14, strategic calendar. So if you're like, well, what's that? A strategic calendar is whether it's like a Google calendar, Yahoo calendar, a separate Outlook calendar. You can use a wall calendar if you want. Month at a glance, whatever tool is fine for me. But you want to be 12 months out, if not 24 months out. What are the days I'm working in the business, which are tactical days? What are the days I'm working on the business? Those are strategic days. And what are the days that I'm gone from the business? Renewal days, all right? And because of what I find is if you adhere to what I call calendar discipline, you're going to have better balance, better integration. You'll make more money. You'll never burn out. You'll have plenty of time to work on your business. What most advisors do is have too many tactical days, not enough strategic days, not enough renewal days. And now some of you do a great job. So obviously we're not talking about you, but that's probably like 5%. The other 95% of you, you need to get your arms around this. Now I will, depending on how much time, if you're coming to our live event, I will talk about strategic calendars as part of this process. Okay? But you need to get your arms around this. You need to deploy a strategic calendar, well, again, Google, Yahoo, separate Outlook calendar, wall calendar, book at a glance, whatever. And you need to have this, and I need you to think about in a typical month, typical quarter, how many days do I need to be working in it in my business? How many days do I need to be working on it to evolve it and working on myself to evolve me? So strategic, like for those of you coming to our live events, those are strategic days. Now, some of you may come down earlier and stay later and chill. Those are renewal days. When you go back to your office and you're knee deep in client reviews and touch base calls and driving your business, those are tactical days. All right. So do you have a strategic calendar? Yes, no. Click it out. Why'd you give yourself the score? What must you do to improve your score? For some of you, how do you improve it? Actually do a calendar. Start the process. And look, it's not going to be perfect, and it's pencil, right? I'm not asking you to declare anything like it's set in stone 2 years from now, but I want you to have a concept of what you want to do 2 years from now, okay? Stop the video, answer the questions. See you in the next benchmark. Welcome back, number 15. So, personal financial plan, business budget. So, I won't beat this up too much. It's very simple. You need both. All right. So, it's fascinating. And I've asked this question in evaluation for potential new clients. Tell me about your financial plan. Tell me about your business budget. Tell me even about your business plan. And I don't got. Yet you're recommending and you're running business and you have no vision. So number one, and look, I know all of you we all come from different places, right? Some of you are in scarcity mode. Some of you are more abundant. Some of you are prosperous, and that's all great. Here's the thing. I don't care if you don't have 2 nickels rubbed together, do a plan. If you believe in planning and you offer planning, have a plan for you. I've had clients that have hired a third party to do their own plan. And it's like a doctor doing their own surgery, probably not a good idea, or a lawyer representing themselves, fool for a client, not a good idea. So I can make the argument here, go find somebody else to do the plan for you if you're not comfortable doing it yourself. All of us need to work on a business budget. Again, whether that's something you do in QuickBooks or an Excel spreadsheet, which can get a little archaic, or whatever you want to use, FreshBooks, whatever you want to use. And for some of you who are in like larger firms, and your firm, you still have to keep a business budget. Part of that business budget is my personal development game plan, right? What's my PD budget, right? My reinvestment back in me, staff, marketing, all those things, right? You need to get your arms around this. So, A, do you have a personal financial plan? B, do you have a business budget / accounting? Answer the questions. Give yourself a note on why you gave yourself the score. And how do you improve it? For some of you, just do one. Do both, right? Make it happen. So, pause the video, and I'll see you back for number 16. All right, welcome back. So, this is why KPIs are important. So, CRM, contact relational management. So, contact management system, right? Do you have Redtail, Salesforce, whatever you're using? And when I say execution, having it is not executing it. How well do you execute it? How well do you know it? Do you have your workflows in there? Things like that. Number 2, KPIs. I laid them out to you in part number 2. You know what you need to track. We do have a KPI tracking sheet. I'd be happy to send it to you if you're a member. So please feel free to just reach out and we'll kick it over to you. It's a nice Excel file. And then also tracking here, the dollars is client profitability, household segmentation. So I want you to think about that all combined, scale it out, check a box. Why'd you give yourself the score? What do you need to do to improve it? For some of you, like I'll ask a question, hey, let's hypothetically use Redtail. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you know and deploy Redtail? 3. Go get some training. Go to Redtail University. Very simple, right? KPIs, how do you improve that? Start tracking it. Dollars, right? Segmentation. That's part of your CRM, right? You should know what your top 20%, what the profitability is on your top 20%, your minimum, your middle 40%, and then your bottom 40%. Okay. So pause the video, answer these questions. See you in benchmark number 17. All right. Welcome back. So I don't care if you have a part-time virtual assistant or you've got 30 people on your team. This is now about you. So leading, managing, and coaching. Leading it, that's the vision. Managing, making sure you got the right people in the right seats. And then coaching, which is now that you've got the right people in the right seats, you now make them better at their game by coaching them up. And coaching also means accountability. Okay? Score yourself, scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 9. Why did you give yourself that score? Again, and I know some of you sitting there going, well, John, I don't have a team. Well, if you've got a part-time assistant, you got a team. If you've got vendors, wholesalers, outside contractors, people you interact with, right, that you have to manage, right, that you have to go ahead and get the most out of, they are an extension of your team. So consider them also. So go ahead, give yourself a score. And then below, what must you do to improve it? Now, every year we do leadership as part of Magellan Network. So we will have our annual one-day leadership conference. So just be aware of that. And if you want to improve your manager-leader game and coach game, I would highly recommend you attend. All right. So 1, 2, 3. Answer these questions. Pause the video, and see you in the next benchmark. All right. Welcome back. Number 18, the last one. We finally have arrived, believe it or not. And I know for a lot of you, man, you've been grinding at this for several hours now, or even over several days, and I appreciate the effort. It will pay off in the long term. So, sustainability, profitability, ideal biz life. So this is a global question. How sustainable is your current game? How profitable is your current game? How ideal is your game, is your current game? So when you think about ideal life and lifestyle and business, ideal profitability, ideal sustainability, how would you rank yourself? All right? And why? Why did you score? Right? Then again, on the bottom, what must you do to improve it? And look, this is, I almost want to put this as the first question. And like I said, I didn't really put them in any particular order, other than all 18 are important. And some of you, really run hard, but you can't run this forever the way you're running it. You've got to understand there's a shift and pivot that must occur. In fact, in my career, there's probably been, oh my God, 5, 7, 8, I'm not even sure anymore, where I hit something, okay, I can't go any higher here. I got to shift and then pivot up. Most of you try to break through. It's like it's like trying to, tunnel through granite. Why not just go around the rock and then keep going? So sustainability, profitability, ideal, business and life, integration, please. Time away, all that. Rank yourself. Give yourself a note on why. And then what you must do to improve. And again, on the sustainability, that's all 90% of that strategic calendar. That was one of the other benchmarks, right? Profitability, that was one of the other benchmarks. Ideal life and business, that's your vision. That was part of what? One of these benchmarks. So pull it all together here. Do that. Finish this, and then I do have one more. I have some parting words for you. So finish this, pause the video, and then come back and see me for one more segment. All right, welcome back. So first off, let me congratulate you on taking the time and energy to finish this thing. I know it's a lot of work, and I applaud you in this. This is something, like I said, you want to do at least twice a year, if not quarterly. And yes, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. So for some of you, this is the first time out. It's like, oh my gosh, this is like crazy, Bill. But this is what matters. There's not one of these KPIs that's unimportant. There's not one of these benchmarks you can ignore. This is how you measure excellence. So now what I need you to do is, whether again you're going to go off now and work on your planning on your own, or I'm going to see you in a little bit at our live event, I want you to know that if you told yourself the truth in this process, you now know what you need to work on. You now know where your blind spots are, where your weaknesses are. And now what you need to do is commit to fixing and improving them. So, thank you for watching. I hope that this process has been powerful and enlightening for you. And let's get after it in our planning process. See you soon.